May we bring the City of Spartanburg City Council meeting to order. We're going to first stand for a moment of silence and we'll be led by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. Mayor Pro Tem, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're going to have item 3, approval of the minutes for the April 14th, 2025 City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Item 4, approval of the agenda for the April 28th, 2025 City Council meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have any opposed? Ayes have it. We have public comment. We have a couple here. And the way public comments will work, you have 2 minutes to state your comment. And after you come up and give us your name and your address. And your 2 minutes will start after you give your address. So, Mr. Proctor, please.
I really need more 2 minutes from my place.
You gave us some reading, some information we can take with us to read.
Okay, because I have give y'all something.
Give us your name and your address, please.
My name is Charlie Proctor. Address is 564 Old Mill Road, Chesley,
Okay.
South Carolina. Well, I've addressed some issues I've been had for the going over a year about the way they conducted me, the code enforcement. They got code enforcement that's not trained for the job, and I can bring you back some pictures what ain't gotten to be done. I called one out last week. I was gonna board up a house on 124 Blair Briarwood, and I called the guy. I waited. I got the text message. I'll show you if you need it. I waited an hour and a half. He never did show up because I want some more clear definition about how to do the job. Because the way they want to do it then, they want to board it up and put plywood, 2x4s in front of the window and 2x4s in the back of the window. And when the house getting ready to be already condemned for about 10 years or longer that I know of. But I couldn't do it, so I just called back. I couldn't do it because I just had to load up my stuff and leave. And then another incident, they give them more time to do their job. Like I told them, it was February the 17th, I put in a bid for a job to clean up a homeless camp. When I called in, it didn't come in for 2 weeks. They give us a day to turn it in. They awarded that day. They waited 2 weeks, and I called, anybody bid it but me. And I went and talked to Mitch about it. He said they might have to wait till the second quote. I know a lot of times they don't be with one quote on the job. And I seen one time a guy, I went and looked at a job. I didn't bid on it, but it was $500 just to board up a door. One of the 2 doors, they paid him $500. He took the front sheet of plywood and put it on the back and put up a new sheet on the front. And the only reason the door was down like that because the fire department, I talked to him. I talked.
Okay.
And the guys, they said they took it off. And I asked, and I'm observing another job working by me.
We got it on there.
When you go on this new system, they ain't get you no kind of equipment to get it. I seen the guy that had the contract, he just used a weed eater.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Mr. Proctor, I was trying to give you a couple minutes to finish up that last thought, but you jumped to another one. We do have it. I appreciate Mr. Limehouse giving you his card, and I know you talked with some other staff as well. So give Mr. Limehouse a call, and he can get whatever question you need to have answered.
I know because hadn't got nothing from,
But you got Mr. Limehouse card. All right,
Okay.
Thank you, sir. We really do appreciate you. All right, Mr. Tanner, come forward, please, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see you all again. It's been a minute. My name is Antonio Tanner. I live on 128 Clemson Street. That's District 2. I am just coming in this afternoon, beautiful afternoon, just to say, as a transplant, I am proud to be in a city that values diversity of our city. The culture here in the city is refreshing and much needed at a time like this. Since July 2017, I have seen the city make the effort to be inclusive and celebrate all cultures. As a Miami native, I appreciate that. In 2018, I learned that at the MLK Walk, that the upstate is the most diverse in the upstate. I would love to see the city continue that statistic. Finally, we are coming up on 5 years to the city passing the apology resolution back in 2020, which was a great start to building on that foundation of being diverse and continuing that promise. There is a lot work left to do, but I just want to say thank you all for the continued work that you guys are all doing, and we are noticing it. Thank you.
Mr. Tanner, thank you. We have item 6, a proclamation declaring May 11, 2025 through the 17th, National Police Week in the city of Spartanburg. I do have a proclamation here, and I see the chief back there. Come on down, chief. You want to bring your team with you? I got a couple. No, I'm the only that I have. Got to have that support. You know, I'm always seeing you in different areas, in different spots. So yes, sir. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. You got a couple coming in?
They got ghosts on me, so we'll proceed.
Well, and we all know how important safety is. One of our main things here in Spartanburg. This is not quite The Price is Right, but we do appreciate you all coming down. So, Chief, again, as we celebrate Police Week that's forthcoming, we want to recognize our public safety with the proclamation, whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the City of Spartanburg Police Department. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States who have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty, including 3 members of Spartanburg Police Department. Whereas the name of the dedicated public servants are engraved in the wall of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., whereas 345 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 148 officers killed in 2024 and 197 officers killed in the previous year of 2023. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund 37th Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2025. The Candlelight Vigil is part of the National Police Week, which will be observed this year during May the 11th through May the 17th. And whereas May the 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, all United States flag shall be flown at half-staff. And whereas today we recognize National Police Week 202 and honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our community and safeguarding our democracy. Now, therefore, I, Jerome Rice, Jr., by the virtue and authority vested as me as the mayor of the city of Spartanburg, and on behalf of my fellow city council members, do hereby proclaim the week of May 11th, 2025 through May 17th, 2025, National Police Week in the city of Spartanburg. Chief, thank you.
Yes, sir.
right here.
Thank you.
Chief, you always have that opportunity to say a few words if you'd like. Thank you.
Well, first off, we're privileged to serve the citizens and those who visit the city of Spartanburg. And I can't thank the council enough for the support that they've given us as an agency to enable us to do our job to the extent that we can. And we strive to do our best as always. And I will say every opportunity I get that we're extremely fortunate to have the men and women that fill our ranks, both our sworn and civilian personnel. They come and give it their best each and every day. But we'll also strive to improve each and every day because you deserve the best. But I will say that, again, any leader worth his salt have to acknowledge the work of their people. And we have some outstanding folks, and it's our honor to serve. And we honor our fallen best by still remaining vigilant and committed and answer our calling. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Item 7, a proclamation declaring the month of April as Second Chance Month in the city of Spartanburg. Presenter Jerome Rice, Mayor.
We have a few folks from Angel Charge Ministry. Come on down. Whereas, again, we have a proclamation where we want to recognize second chance for some of our citizens. So you'll hear more about it as I go through the proclamation. Whereas every person worth more than their worth. These are the wrong glasses. I'm always gonna struggle.
It's okay, take your time.
Okay. Whereas every person is worth more than their worst decision, and millions of Americans with criminal records face significant barriers to employment, housing, education, and civic participation long after serving their time. It's pretty deep. Whereas Second Chance Month is the opportunity to raise awareness of the collateral consequences of criminal convictions and to unlock opportunities for people who have paid their debt to society. Whereas many individuals with criminal records struggle to reintegrate into society due to the legal and social barriers, contributing to cycles of poverty, recidivism, and disconnection from their communities. Whereas Angel Charge Ministry is a faith-based organization here in Spartanburg that offers programs to assist women with new ways of life by providing transitional housing, personal development, and support services. Whereas providing second chance not only strengthens families and communities, but also enhance public safety by supporting successful reentry and reducing the likelihood of reoffending. Whereas by recognizing Second Chance Month, we affirm our commitment to creating a fair and inclusive society where everyone has the opportunity to contribute and thrive. Thank you for that, Second Chance. Now, therefore, I, Jerome Rice, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Spartanburg, and on behalf of my fellow city council members, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 Second Chance Month in the city of Spartanburg. Second chance, thank you for helping our citizens. And again, that first paragraph, that means so much to so many people. So thank you all. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, while y'all are doing pictures, if I may, Nanny Jeffries had, last week was awarded the Mary Thomas Award
Yes.
by the Spartanburg County Foundation.
recognition of that. Thank you, Jamie, for reminding us, and Nanny has been such a jewel to our community for, I'm not gonna say many years, but a lot of years. Thank you all. Thank you.
Great.
I'm gonna pass that over to our board chair, Suzanne White.
Thank you so much, Mayor Rice and City Council. I'm Suzanne White. I'm Chair of the Board of Angels Charge Ministries. I have the pleasure of working as a public defender for 7th Judicial Circuit in Cherokee and Spartanburg, but it's been even more rewarding to work with women and the folks on the board to try to help them overcome many of the barriers, whether it's financial, the stigma of having a record, facing the issues of housing. As y'all know, housing is pretty expensive, and coming out of jail, it makes it even more difficult. So we are grateful for everybody's support. We're having a reentry simulation May 16th that we hope we can get some folks to join us to kind of help understand the process. And we just appreciate and thank you for your support. And thank Nanny for all she does for the ladies for second chances. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 8. Item 8A, public hearing ordinance to amend the City of Spartanburg, South Carolina zoning ordinance and comprehensive plan land use element by amending section 206, change to district boundaries, specifically the property located at 620 Union Street. This is second reading. Presenter will be Ms. Fredolyn Frazier, Planning Director.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As you recall, these two cases, they're actually two before you, and you approved both of them at your last meeting for first read. I can briefly just go over what happened in terms of the zoning process if you need that, but the one thing that did not occur at that meeting was opening the floor for public comment. But if you like, we can also go through the presentation. It's your pleasure.
Any council need to hear any? No, we'll just go ahead and open up for public hearing. The way the public hearing works, we have 20 minutes, 10 minutes per side. If you are in favor of this, excuse me?
Both sides get 20 minutes.
Both
10
sides.
minutes.
Okay, no person can speak more than 10 minutes. Sorry. Both sides get 20 minutes. No one person can speak more than 10 minutes on this item. So, need a motion to open up a public hearing.
Mayor Rice, I make a motion that we open the floor up for. Second.
All in favor? Aye. And that opposed? Ayes have it. So the public hearing is open. Again, if you would like to speak in favor of the 620 Union Street project, come forward. If you would want to speak against the 620 Union Street project, please come forward.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. Do I have a motion on item A?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve this
Ordinance.
proposal. Yes, yes.
Do I hear a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any that oppose? Good, ayes have it. A is passed. B, we're opening up a public hearing as well. We need to read it off again. So let's go, an ordinance to amend the City of Spartanburg, South Carolina zoning ordinance and comprehensive plan land use element by amending section 206, change the district boundary, specifically property located at 577 North Church Street. Presenter again, Planning Director, Ms. Fredolyn Frazier. She presented this at the last council meeting, and we need to have a public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
Your motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Public hearing is open. Again, you have the same elements here. You have 20 minutes to speak in favor. No one person can speak more than 10. Does anyone want to speak in favor of 577 North Church Street? Anyone wants to speak against 577 North Church Street?
Mayor, I make a motion that we go out of executive session. Second.
All in favor?
Public hearing.
Public hearing. I knew exactly what you meant. We're all struggling here. Do I hear, I got a second? All in favor? Aye. Any that oppose? Ayes have it. So it passed again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, that
need
was to close the public hearing.
That was the
We need a
motion
and a
to
second
accept B.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the rezoning in section B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Thank you, guys. I'm really struggling here this evening.
Keep me busy today.
I'm telling you, I gotta find my class. All right, where are we? Item 9, award bid for the Hangar D project. Mr. Terry Conninger. Conington, Mr. Terry, you know I pronounced that name wrong every time.
It's okay. Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. I'm here today for requesting approval for the rehabilitation of Hangar D. Hangar D was built back in the 1970s and hasn't had much TLC since then. I've got some pictures on the outside here. It's one of our largest hangars at the airport. It's nearly 20,000 square feet and is used as a community hangar. We also sometimes house Regional 1 helicopter in there when thunderstorms come in. As you can probably see here, some of the roofing and the siding is beyond repair. In fact, our base bid came in at $387,800, and then to redo the whole thing, an additional $74,700. So the bid total is $462,500. What we're going to do is take off all the metal from the actual side and the roof and make it into one complete, safe, and up-to-code hangar for use. Only about 20% of it is in the dry. When it rains, everything else is just coming in, so it's not very effective. So by awarding this bid tonight, we'll have a brand new hangar basically to store people's aircraft in there, including Regional 1. So if you have any questions, I'll answer them.
Questions?
I
Yes.
do have a question.
I saw where that you have accepted, you want us to approve the bid on Dave
Co, yes, that's the name of the company that won the bid, yeah.
Co? Not Davis, but Dave Co.
Yeah, Co, yeah. That's right.
Terry, this is funded by the SC Department of Commerce.
That's
right?
correct, 100%.
That'll fund 100%.
No, 100%, yeah.
Terry, I will say the pigeons and birds that have taken housing will be upset, but
One of the things I'm going to do is put netting up there to prevent the pigeons from roosting on the rafters. That's the biggest problem, besides the rain coming in. So it's going to be a nice, watertight, pigeon-free facility.
Pigeon-free.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the proposed bid.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Very much, thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Item 10, award bids to C.C. Woodson Recreation Center pool update. Ms. Kim Brown, Public Park and Recreation Special Events Director. Ms. Brown, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well, I hope you are. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you recall, in January, your approval of ARPA funding included some improvements at our community centers. At C.C. Woodson, part of those improvements include the complete removal and replaster of the pool, replacement of in-wall steps, replacement of water line tiles to the same, and the caulking of the deck. We put the project out for competitive bid and are here this evening asking for approval to award that bid to Pure Aqua Products out of Rock Hill. Their bid came in at $100,342.36.
Mr. Mayor, can I
Yes, sure.
Kim, what's the timeline for this? Will this be available, done and open for
So
summer?
we're really gonna have to push to get it done. It may delay the opening of the pool by a week. We could possibly get some of our training done at TK, but it will be very close.
Kim, but this is just a side question here. It has nothing to do with that. What's the possibility, you think, in the future of getting that pool screened?
I'm not certain if I understand the question, screened.
You know, whether it's screened in the pool? Okay,
Enclosed?
that has nothing got to do with your presentation that you're making now, but this is just.
Cover from the, from
To
the
enclose the
sun.
pool?
Yes, a screen. You know, you can screen in a pool, but you've never heard of that?
Certainly, but I've never had the question for that one, an outside pool to be enclosed. A public outside pool, that is.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Okay, I just got threw that out there.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna make, oh, go ahead.
I just had a question. I know we've had the ARPA funding in different buckets. Which particular bucket was this one? Was this the Parks and Rec one that we had? Okay. And I was really pleased. I have been here since 2014, and I don't think I've ever seen a award bid come back where there's been a participating MWB. So,
I didn't know if I was supposed to include that or not, but.
well,
But yes.
I mean, you have heard me harp on this for a long time about how we, you know, so I was pleased to see that. So.
Good,
Make two of us.
good.
Okay, Mayor.
But before you go, and Kim, you did mention it may put us back a week for
It
playground
depends on how
program.
quickly we can get everything set to go. Like I said, the pool currently is drained and it's clean and it's ready for whenever they can get started. We're ready for them.
Okay, okay. All right.
Can we make
Yes,
a
ma'am.
motion? I'm going to make a motion that we approve the bid.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Ms. Brown. Item 11, a resolution to authorize the city manager to execute a quitclaim deed for Alleyway West and abutting 121 College Street and 426 North Church. Robert Kohler, Mr. Attorney.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. The item before you is a request for the city manager to execute what's called a quitclaim deed, and as you all know, that just says that we're telling all the world that we are quitting or giving up any claim we have in that little strip of land there between the Second Pres property and the Second Pres and Wofford property. My understanding of the history of alleys is we've never taken them and have never exercised any dominion or control over them, so we're not really giving up anything, but oftentimes purchasers and developers ask for us to give that deed, and so we're glad to do that in this case when we're confident there's no interest that we have in and would express or have ever expressed in that. As you can see, the Second Pres building there, or the building with the Second Pres over that, that's going to be purchased by Wofford, so those two parcels, 121 and 426, will become Wofford property. Second Pres will maintain the parking lot, and it makes sense for us to give up any claim in that alleyway because that will just become a re-surveyed portion and make their land boundary go all the way to the boundaries of the Second Pres Wofford properties. Glad to answer any questions you have about it. It would require a motion, a second, and a resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we pass the resolution.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it, Mr. Kohler.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We had staff updates. Item 12, Mr. Story.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'll be brief. I want to give a couple of quick updates about, we are deep in the throes of budget process, as you know, and often our approach is to work on the revenue side first, which facilitates the expenditure decisions. Pleased to say that some of the strong growth in the local economy is resulting in some continued modest revenue growth for the city. We are at this point, subject to a few more variables being plugged in, looking at about 3.8% year-over-year revenue growth in the general fund. That equates to general fund revenue increase of approximately $2 million. That is a good piece of news. However, I would caution that we do have some inflationary expenditure pressures, as you might imagine, including some roughly $500,000 of health insurance premium increases as part of our participation in the state health plan, and some other personnel and operating cost increases that will be important variables in the budget. The team is working through departmental budget requests right now. Most have been completed. Several of the larger ones, Dennis and I will be engaged with this week. We hope to be in a position to, by your next meeting, have a thorough presentation of where we stand, and then be able to present by the subsequent meeting a balanced first cut at an operating budget for the next fiscal year. That is, of course, at any point subject to your amendment and adjustment, and or any direction in advance of that you would like to provide the staff, is always welcome at any point in the process. So I just want to share sort of where we are with that important piece of work. I think generally we can conclude that that a number of the decisions that have been made over the last decade or so are beginning to bear fruit. Most of our revenue growth is in the areas of business-related activities, showing that the commerce is healthy in the city of Spartanburg, and that is an important piece of the puzzle. Certainly welcome any questions you have on that, but deeper dive coming at the next meeting, and full packet just beyond that. So, good. Any questions about the budget? And certainly welcome any questions about any other matters. Things are busy spring. We have a slate of activities planned for this weekend, multiple types of community events, including the Criterium Partners for Active Living puts on Friday night, Cinco de Mayo festival on Saturday, just a number of activities. And if I start naming the list, I'll invariably miss some, but I will just tell you that we have seen great attendance and success at the Hub City Spartanburgers games so far. Those seem to be well received. We're making some, as you might imagine, some logistical adjustments to ingress, egress, things of that nature. But overall, it's been going very, very well and seems to be very well received. Just this past Saturday night, we had a sold-out baseball game, multiple proms, sold-out music foundation event at Twitchell Auditorium, and a very well-attended Broadway touring musical production at the auditorium, all in one night. Mm-hmm. So that was, to me, a bellwether for the quality of life offerings in this community that continue to grow. So I will leave it there and welcome any questions you have on any topics.
Any questions of Mr. Story? Yes, ma'am.
3 fast questions.
Okay.
So speaking of the Spartanburgers, such a great experience. I mean, I teared up literally thinking of all of the dreams and plannings and work. I see Catherine O'Neill here. Thank you again for all of your hard work on that. One thing I didn't expect to see, and I'm just asking if this was a part of the plan and I just wasn't aware of it, we had several of our amazing Parks and Rec staff out there manning the parking garage and walking around, and I just didn't remember that knew that we had signed our folks up for that. And so I was hoping you could clarify our involvement on that sort of staffing side of things.
Yeah.
We do operate that parking garage,
right.
And we have concluded that to ensure that the first season gets off on the best possible trajectory, that we would do that with staff. That facility is also equipped for automated processes, and so we wanted to gather some data about what times people arrive and in what volumes, and ensure that we had no ingress or egress issues. So we're sort of doing that more manually, if you will, but may transition to the use of technology of that, and ramp back the staff time as we learn patterns of behavior and things of that nature. We also got to make some tweaks to some wayfinding signage around that to make things safer. But outside the ballpark gates, the ticketed gates, that's sort of the limits of city responsibilities for getting folks in those gates safely.
And that's time we're paying them for.
That's correct. That's
Right.
correct.
Okay. Second question. Have we heard anything from FEMA as far as starting the reimbursement process and us getting paid back?
We have had a number of communication points. So the short answer is yes. And we've early in this process engaged a third-party firm to help us basically do the meticulous degree of checking and reporting that we knew from prior experience would be required, and make sure that we were well prepared to take advantage of that. Have seen no red flags, have no indications of any difficulty, have found FEMA to be responsive and able to clarify questions from our team and from our consultants about that. So we believe we are headed in a very good direction and where we ought to be at this time in the process, but have not received full reimbursement yet, but wouldn't have expected to.
And those conversations we've been having have been since the new administration?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. Third question, last question. I asked this before, but is there any update? Because you said we were close to, I think, putting a bid out for a firm consulting group to help us with the rezoning, our zoning ordinances.
I don't have an update for you tonight. One of the things that we have been working through in preparation for that is adding to our planning department staff, and that hiring process is near complete, which will put us on a better footing for Fredland to have the bandwidth to be more externally oriented on that process, because that's going to be an intensive piece of work.
Thank you.
But it is very important.
Good. Any other questions, Mr. Story?
She's already asked.
Yeah, Chris, I'll just get, so Megan's point about our staff that is being used to man the parking garages, we collect the revenue from that garage.
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just an expense that's derived with, okay. And then as you think about the budget process, I know there's been a lot of disruption regarding federal and possibly even trickled down to some state grants. Are you factoring in what you know at this point into that budget process?
Yes, sir. But what we know is relatively limited. And so I think if some if some of the things I have read about the budget discussions in DC manifest, we would likely be looking at some mid-year adjustments. But we are factoring in anything that we feel like is solid at this point.
Any other questions? Good, good. Thank you, Mr. Story. We have council updates. And before we go there, I will make a comment on staff in baseball. At the last staff in baseball, the last staff meeting Wednesday, I attempted to thank public safety for their help, as I see Captain Suber, Major Luja back there, for their help with baseball, because those are the guys I kind of ran up on first. And as Councilwoman Smith just mentioned about Park and Rec staff, you know, being down at, I'm like, wow, so I can't just say public safety. And so I mentioned Park and Rec. Then I saw Chief Bruton And I'm seeing his guys on the inside making sure the sprinkler system and all that. And so I'm like, ho. Let's just thank the team. But the city team has done an outstanding job with baseball, with everything that has come from the traffic to the parking to the fire alarms to the fireworks going off, making sure they're clear. Kevin and his walkthroughs with his team. Chris has a jersey with his name on the back of it. Spartanburg's jersey. It is truly a delight that we have that here in Spartanburg. And to walk downtown or to ride through downtown on a Tuesday or Wednesday evening and see the foot traffic. Man, baseball is back in the burg. So that's just awesome, man. But I thought that was fitting. Ruth, I think you actually left and missed the picture.
And Mitch left at the same time.
Mitch is in the second one. Mitch is it's another picture. He bent down beside the burger. I don't know which one is bigger, the burger or Mitch. I got him while he's not here. So good. Council updates. Councilman Rain.
Mayor wanted to go first to get his baseball update out. But,
yeah, because everybody can say baseball.
Thank you guys for being here. Just wanted to echo the mayor's comments. It's been exciting to see the level of activity the last 12 of the last 13 nights downtown with baseball. So thanks to everyone for all your work on that.
Councilwoman Smith.
Yeah, Councilman Fulmer just brought up the impact of decisions that are made in Washington and how they can impact us locally, most specifically on a budget program. But I wanted to use my time to talk about another program that has been essential and vital to our community, the health of our nonprofits, and the workforce and people that we have moving here and staying here in Spartanburg, and that's the AmeriCorps Vista program. United Way has been housing that program for since 2006. We have had a Vista housed at the Spartanburg Academic Movement for several years. I was in the process of hiring a new one. 90% of the Vista programs and grants across the state were terminated on Friday night, and members were told to not show up to their site. We have people in our community that we love and know. Hannah Jarrett, our own Marilyn Wynn, she was a Vista that we hired. Almost all of Hannah's team at a place to call home either was a Vista or a former Vista. We have the Bridge at Green Street, Converse, whose Vista was working on setting up a food pantry for college students who have food insecurity. PAL, Regenesis, Strategic Spartanburg, A Place to Call Home, USC Upstate, the Bethlehem Center, United Way. And those are just the nonprofits in the city that all had folks sign up for a year of service to take a poverty stipend, literally. They are not paid enough to be able to live for the year and to dedicate their time to a community. Some of them are from here, and this is their hometown. A lot of them are from across the country who are attracted to Spartanburg and who want to work at one of the nonprofits that we have here. So those are nonprofits that relied on this work, relied on these folks to help to build capacity, to train volunteers, to do tutoring and one-on-one support alongside teachers at Cleveland Academy who are working with some of our most vulnerable students. And I think we have something so special here in Spartanburg, and we try to insulate ourselves, but more and more decisions that are coming out of Washington, D.C. are impacting our people, our organizations, our own budget. And we can't pretend and stay silent. And I'm just heartbroken for the folks that were told not to show up Monday night at work, who already didn't make enough money to probably be able to pay their rent this coming month. So if you know a Vista, if you've had a former Vista in your life, reach out to them. This is a very personal program to them, and a lot of those folks, as so many in different organizations and institutions across our country, are reeling from the selfish cruelty coming out of Washington, D.C. right now. So thank you, Hannah, and to your team for your former work, and we love you.
Thank you for those comments, and I truly understand what you're saying. We had the visitors here in Spartanburg. They actually walked at the last miles with the mayor, and we met them. And they had to leave, so definitely
I worked with
understand.
AmeriCorps Vista for 3 years when I first moved back to Spartanburg. Yeah.
Councilwoman Littlejohn, updates.
Crit is going to take place on Friday, so come on out and have fun downtown. I attended the Appalachian Council of Government meeting on Friday, and I talked about Spartanburg so much that I think that everybody got tired of hearing me talk. I was really bragging about Spartanburg because there is so much going on here that it is almost unbelievable, you know, to someone who is not actually seeing the things that are taking place. And so I just want you all to know that I just love to talk about Spartanburg, and I was there really giving it my all. I attended a Denny's Earth Day on the 22nd, and the young children got from Meeting Street there. All of them got witnessed them got planting a tree, because that was an experiment there. I have been to 3 Spartanburger games, and I am excited that we have this team in Spartanburg, that we have the Spartanburgers. So if you have not been, I urge you to go, and I have enjoyed every one of them.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. And I think Ruth has 2 jerseys. Council.
Mayor, good evening, everyone, or good
Councilwoman
afternoon.
Sally.
Yeah, evening, because it's after 6. I want to first address Fire Chief Bruton and to apologize for my accepting an invitation and could not make it because my house was ill. It was sick, so I had to tend to it. And the maintenance person who was helping me didn't finish on time. So I was all dressed and ready to enjoy your annual meeting, and I hope it was a success, and I thank you for the invitation. Secondly, the Bethlehem Early Learning Center had a celebration of their new play space. It was very, very nice, and if you ever get a chance, ask Ms. Patrina Means to show you the area, because it was very exceptional with the creativity that was put in place to put all the presentation for the children that would enjoy that. I kind of wish that I was a child and I could do it myself. Lastly but not least, I did too enjoy the game. I also invited my minister and his wife, and she has never ever been to a softball or baseball game. And she told me it was her first time and will not be her last time. Right. So to Chris, to Catherine, and to every one of the partners that brought Spartanburgers here and the stadium, thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you, Councilman Foreman.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Today, Mr. Mayor, I learned of the passing of Julia Lyons Brooks, who was a wonderful community advocate here in Spartanburg, and her loss will be felt by many of us here in Spartanburg. On a happier note, I mentioned Nanny Jeffries winning the Mary Thomas Award, but that was at the Spartanburg County Foundation's annual meeting where they recognize the work that they, along with their partners, are doing in the community, and that was an uplifting event. And if you have an opportunity, I think they usually post that movie that they show, film that they show at the meeting, and encourage you to look at it because it does inspire you about what's happening in our community. And along those lines, I mean, there is a new vibe in Spartanburg for sure. I mean, you know, just last week or in the last 2 weeks, obviously the baseball opening day and the successful 2-week run, but also just outside of the city, the ribbon cutting at Milo's Tea. The executives and people there, I had the privilege of attending, and you couldn't hear enough nice things about Spartanburg. It was just exciting to hear, these people that live in, other parts of the country, and they had people that came in from all over the country to celebrate this with Milos, and they were all raving about Spartanburg, and it was really cool to see. And then followed up with that, a $2.8 billion investment just outside of the city at the Kohler plant, that will undoubtedly have a positive impact on our community. It's just all real exciting. And to your point, Mr. Mayor, the city team has done a tremendous job. Everybody has done their job to support the Hub City Spartanburgers and the activity in downtown, except for one person on the city team. One person on the city team has let us down. Mayor, your pitch.
Cut his mic off. Cut his mic off.
Just really disappointing. I don't know how to describe it, but my children were aghast that the mayor could pitch like that. But,
I had big fans from his kids until I pitched that ball. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Jamie, I missed the pitch, but I ran into Shay and the mayor, and I think, and I quote what she said, it was nothing to write home about, is what your wife told me.
It couldn't even make it home.
But no, it's just been awesome to experience all of these games. Went to Taylor Swift night on Friday, which was great, with the finale, Taylor Swift themed songs along with the fireworks, which was great. You can add St. Luke's free medical clinic to your list of vistas. We have participated in that program since they started in Spartanburg, and we had Marlon, who was with us, and having a very difficult conversation with her because she still showed up just to say, what do I do? And we're kind of scrambling to see if there is something that we can do to at least have her with us until the end of what should be her term. So it's really unnecessary. It's cruel. That seems to be the theme in Washington these days. I'm hoping for the best. That's all we can hold on to at this point. But I hope that we can find something for her to do. But the baseball is great. I think in addition to the fastest night in Spartanburg on Friday, Saturday is the Cribs Kitchen Burger Cook-Off. Is that correct? I've need to get some stretchy pants because the amount of food that I ate during Hog Fest, and now I'm going to be stuffing my face full of sliders this coming weekend.
And Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. And so it's a great event, very well attended. One year I actually got to be a judge, and I really thought I was going to be sick after because there are so many sliders you have to, taste test.
Taste them all.
So I think it looks like a beautiful weather weekend coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think that's all I have. Thank you all for being here.
Just a couple others to add. Council has pretty much mentioned all the ones. I can scratch through a few. Saturday as well, the new ballparks at Duncan Park. We have the ribbon cutting there at 12 o'clock on Saturday for the new baseball. Reed Degree celebrated their one-year celebration with one Spartanburg on this past Saturday as well. I mentioned the Chief Thompson and I have been hanging out. We were at the My Brother's Keeper along with Chief Bruton. My Brother's Keeper celebrated 10 years last week. I can't remember the day, Chief Bruton, but we celebrated with them. Congressman Clyburn was here as well, had the opportunity to have a conversation about some of the things that's going on in Washington, as well as to sit down and just break bread with a living legend that so gracefully came to Spartanburg and just give us some updates. And that's all I have.
I did forget one
Go ahead.
comment, Mr. Mayor. I did, and this didn't want to, we've already had enough solemn, but I have been thinking a lot about the families of the 4 students within a month span from Dorman High School. I cannot imagine, they have suffered a tremendous loss in their school communities, in our community as a whole, whether it be District 6, 7, 1, et cetera, you know, we all are a family together. And so just continue to keep those families in your thoughts and prayers.
Thank you for that, and we'll end with that. No,
Well, let's
Councilwoman
end
Sally.
with- We got one more activity that takes place every Thursday, and it's Music on Main.
Music on Main.
And if you don't get to the ballpark, you can at least go downtown to Music on Main.
Good. All right, entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we enter into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's go to executive session. Thank you all for coming to the city council meeting tonight. Thank you. Go, go, go.